Hi beautiful, welcome to my channel. In today's video we are trying the new HAUS Labs by Lady Gaga concealer. This is called the Triclone Skin Tech Concealer and Corrector. I ended up getting mine in the shade 05 Fair Peach. We shall see if that was the correct shade for me. I'm still not sure. I picked it online. They did a one-day pre-launch sort of thing where you could buy it before the release date. Let me tell you what the release date is because it is coming up. The official release date for this concealer is September 7th and it will be available in stores and online at Sephora. The concealer has 31 shades. It has 6 shade families and 4 different undertones. And its retail price is $32. Let me go ahead and open my box. That should give me a better idea of whether or not I chose the right shade for me. Take a look right here at what the actual component looks like. So far it seems to me that the color 05 Fair Peach is a color that I would normally wear. The best thing about this component is certainly the beautifully crafted cap right here. In my opinion, this cap looks like something you might see Hourglass come out with. Let's open it up. Here is what the doe foot applicator looks like, and I would think that this shade is a good match for my under eyes. I usually love shades that are a little bit brighter than my complexion for the under eye area, so I feel like this is going to be a good match. On the back of my hand it looks like it has a ton of coverage and it almost has a moussey consistency to it, but it is sinking right into my skin. It's not staying on top or anything, and it has a natural finish to it. I am beyond excited to try this one. Let's see what Sephora has to say about it. It says it is a lightweight, long-wearing, non-comedogenic concealer that does more than cover. It blurs, it depuffs, it brightens, and conceals with a medium buildable coverage. As highlighted ingredients, it's saying here that it has niacinamide, which is going to brighten and boost your skin's hydration. It has fermented arnica, which is going to reduce the look of redness and irritation, and hyaluronic acid complex, which is going to visibly plump and hydrate the skin. It's a vegan, gluten-free, and cruelty-free concealer. It says it's made with high-tech skin-loving ingredients and flexible pigments that seamlessly adapt to the skin. This proprietary formula blurs fine lines, brightens and depuffs under the eyes, conceals redness and hyperpigmentation, and leaves skin hydrated. It is mica-free and non-comedogenic for all skin types. They even have third-party clinical results on this one that say 100% of people said that the puffiness under their eyes was reduced. I feel like that's a very big claim, right? 100% of people said they were less puffy. And then 100% also said that it feels weightless all day. It did feel weightless in the back of my hand so far. This was tested on 39 women ages 25 to 55 over a 12-hour period. Also 100% said that it delivered all-day hydration. Now that we've laid it all out on the table, first things first, I have to put some foundation on and then we'll try the concealer. I did my eyebrows already and I also have a magic cream all over my face, which is why I look so shiny. So let's go ahead and go on with a foundation I like, which is not the HAUS Labs foundation because that one did not work for me. So unfortunately I can't pair the foundation and concealer together. I would love to do that, but that foundation hates me. I'm going to put on a skin tint. This one here is my current favorite skin tint, the Too Faced Born This Way Healthy Glow SPF 30 skin tint. This was on sale at Sephora for like half off recently. I'm not sure if it's still on sale, but I was surprised. I was surprised it was on sale. I guess it's not as popular. I love it. Like I said, it's my favorite skin tint as of late. And the reason I want to do a skin tint instead of a full-on foundation situation is because I want to give the concealer a chance to like cover more. So I feel like a skin tint having a lighter weight and a lighter coverage is going to interfere the least amount possible with a concealer review. My Too Faced skin tint, by the way, I have in the shade Porcelain. So now that the skin tint is on, let's go for the HAUS Labs concealer. I'm going to do it without a color corrector underneath one of the eyes and maybe with a color corrector on the other. We'll see. It depends on how I feel about it without a color corrector. So I'm going to go right underneath my eye here. I'm taking it to the inner corner, and this is not a liquidy concealer per se, so I'm going to blend that out before I apply any more. The color is definitely a brightening color for me. Now, while on the back of my hand I felt like it had a pretty good coverage, it did say that it is a medium buildable coverage concealer, and I can see some hues coming through from my under eye area, so I'm going to add just a little more right here to build it and see if I'm happy with that amount of coverage, or if I want to use it with a color corrector under the other eye. Color corrector is not for everyone, but I do have purpley hues that come through underneath my eyes, so I prefer to use a color corrector with my concealers. One thing I'm loving about it so far is that it blends out super seamlessly. It has a pretty thick formula, right? But once you blend it into your skin, it disappears. It is super thin going on the skin, and it gives me that feeling that I don't even need to set it with powder because it has such a natural finish to it. So far so good. We'll see. I'm going to use a color corrector underneath this eye and in the inner corner. Just tapping it on with my finger. This is my Charlotte one. Just to correct some of the purpley areas underneath the eye. So now that the color corrector is on, we are going to brighten. And with my rougher sponge, I'm just going to pat the concealer all throughout the under eye area. One thing I'm noticing is that the concealer kind of bunches up around the entrance there because the wand is a teeny tiny bit bigger than the hole, and the concealer is pretty thick. So when you put it in and take it out, you're leaving product all around the rim right there, which I feel like eventually might be a problem, right? I've done it maybe 4 times and I have a bunch of product around right there. So, I don't know. I'm just telling you all of the little things. I'm going to add a bit in the center of the face. And I also added just a tiny bit right there underneath my color corrected eye to build it up. I totally agree with the claim that this is a medium coverage concealer rather than full, which was my previous assessment. As you can see, in my opinion, it looks much better over the color corrected eye versus the eye where I didn't color correct. This does not look terrible, it looks pretty natural, but I do love when no purpley hues and no darkness can come through my concealer because it makes everything look a lot brighter. So moving forward, I do think that this would be a concealer that I would use with my color corrector. I usually like to use all of my concealers with my color corrector underneath anyways, but this one I feel like needs it a bit because not everything was covered in the under eye that doesn't have any color corrector. Let me lower the light all the way and you can see what it looks like with the light fully down. See how this eye looks brighter. My body is a little bit darker than I anticipated, and my skin tint in the shade Porcelain makes me look a little bit pale, so I cannot wait to give myself some color, which I'm going to do right now, and hopefully this will fix my paleness. This right here is my favorite contouring cream product ever. It is from M Cosmetics. It's my favorite M Cosmetics product as well that I've ever tried. And I'm talking about the contouring stick in the shade Terra. This is godsend. It is the best cream contouring slash bronzing product ever. So with my Rare Beauty stippling brush, I'm going to blend it all around the perimeters of my face. I definitely needed that bronzer. Everything looks a lot more cohesive now. And one question still remains, and it's whether or not to even set this concealer with some powder. It's had time to settle now, so let's see if it's creased on its own. Obviously, like on my eyelid it did a little bit, but has it creased underneath my eyes? Yes, it has a teeny tiny bit. This is the eye that doesn't have the color corrector, which has only one little tiny crease. And then this is the eye with the color corrector, which has a couple, but also this under eye has a couple of folds versus this one has one. So it's more so on the shape of my under eyes than on the concealer. The point is that it does crease a teeny tiny bit without a powder. So I'm going to kind of smooth my under eyes and add a powder over top. So with nothing added, just the tip of my sponge, I'm going to smooth everything. down here. And then I have my HAUS Labs powder, which I remember liking when I first tried this. And this is the Bio Blurring Loose Setting Powder. I have my Denisomyrix puff, and I'm going to take off any excess on the palm of my hand right here. And then I'm going to just press this powder right underneath my eye and on the inner part of my cheek right here next to my nose. That looks beautiful, and as you can see, very blurred. I'm going to do the same thing under this eye, obviously. And let's finally take out the shine from the center of my forehead by patting that powder right through it. I think this made me come to the realization that I need to use this powder more. I feel like ever since I got the hang of using a puff and like taking all of the excess product out and applying my powder that way, I have been rediscovering the world of loose translucent powders. It's like a whole different experience. Anyways, this looks fantastic. My cheeks look very smooth. My under eyes look phenomenal. My complexion is looking naturally flawless right now, if I do say so myself. I am very happy with this concealer so far, and I will keep you updated on it throughout the day. I'm going to go outside and show you what it looks like in natural lighting, and then we'll do a couple of check-ins throughout the day to see how this concealer wears. I am going to leave you at this step right now because I'm going to also film a palette review in a few minutes. And so at my next check-in, after I show you what this looks like outside, the next check-in after that, I'll probably have 2 different colored eyes on. So I'll see you guys later. I am outside now to show you guys what this looks like in natural lighting. It is super cloudy today, but take a look right here at my face. The concealer, I think, is looking pretty good. I will say I just set it with powder only 15 minutes ago, and if I pull down, you can see that it did crease back up just a tiny bit. So that's a little disappointing. However, overall, I think my under eyes look pretty good right now. So let me know what you think. This is what it looks like in natural lighting, and I'm going to go back up to film the other video. So I'll see you guys later. Okay, you guys, it is 7:51 right now. I did a bit longer of a wear test than I thought I was going to do on this concealer because I started the wear test pretty late. It was like around noon, so it's been around 8 hours. I have to admit, I had to redo this under eye because the fallout on this eyeshadow look was crazy, but I have not touched this under eye at all. So what you see is my concealer, just kind of the way it has been looking all day. As I said earlier, when I was outside, it creased like a teeny bit underneath my eyes, but honestly, it wasn't much. It wasn't bothersome. And overall, the concealer, I think, performed really well. It has a good amount of coverage. It did not make my skin feel drier. As far as the claims that we read from the clinical study, I didn't really feel any difference in the puffiness underneath my eyes, but my under eyes typically aren't that puffy to begin with. My under eyes did look brighter. They do look hydrated to a certain extent. It's not the most hydrating concealer I've ever tried, but it has a pretty natural finish to it. Overall, if I had to rate it out of 10, I think I would give it like a 9, which I think is a very good score. I usually hate all concealers for the most part, so I'm kind of impressed with this one, but at the same time, I'm not thinking it'll become a new favorite of mine. Only time will tell though. I am excited to continue to use it, to continue to try it. I did think that the coverage of it wore beautifully all throughout the day, especially with the color corrector underneath. When I redid this under eye, which I had to, I did apply a little bit of color corrector underneath this eye as well, just to even my under eyes out. But beautiful medium buildable coverage. I love the finish of it, and it wore really pretty all throughout the day. So like I said, it is a 9 out of 10 for me. If you've been interested in trying it, I do recommend it. It is much better for dry skin than the foundation, in my opinion, because the foundation was a total disaster. So please let me know what your thoughts are, and if you're interested in buying this concealer, I left you the link down below in the description box and probably on the little icon on the screen as well. I'm not sure. Anyways, I love you all so much. Thank you for watching. Give the video a thumbs up if you like it. Subscribe to my channel for all of the dry skin wear test complexion reviews, and I hope to see you back in the next video. Bye.